was it that you had your experience with the land?
2010.
2010. So in 2010, you're out on your land
Hmm.
and you're driving around, and what happened? I'll let you explain it.
So I was at the south end of the south property, in the middle, right where I knew I could go directly north and hit a little marker, a little aluminum cap, GPS, marker that they put out, a survey marker. And I had a compass and I had a line of sight that I followed, one of the big power poles. So I knew I was driving directly north, whether I was looking down at the compass or looking up. And I was driving, and I was in a Durango, and I was driving, and I was watching the ground, thinking, looking, remembering to look for this little marker. And the next thing I know, find a marker, I get out, I write down what the thing is on it, and I was going, had been going directly north. I got back in my Durango, went forward, and hit the river's edge, which means I was going east. So I went from looking from a different marker to finding one of the east markers, and I don't know how I got there. And my brain was all mushy and felt like several realities were going on, and it finally landed on this one. And I didn't otherwise feel any worse for the wear, but I don't know how I got there. It's not mindless. There's several tiers of property with a lot of rugged thing. You don't do it mindlessly, so I don't know how I got there, and it started me searching. I really, until that moment, it's kind of like on that movie Close Encounters, where the guy needs to build something and he doesn't realize it's Devil's Tower, but he just, any material he gets a hold of, he's got to make that shape. I kind of like compelled to figure it out, and it was a very strong compelling. I spent a lot of hours, many hours, trying to understand what happened, and engage people that might know, and it was all theoretical about what did happen. It still is, but
Yeah, you're just trying
best
to find
guess is
answers.
it was some sort of portal. And when I went back to that same area with my son's dog, who's very calm, where I thought maybe it happened because it had to be along like a certain line, right? When it happened, the dog went absolutely nuts. Wouldn't stay in the truck. He'd get in and he'd get out. It was like it didn't know what to do with itself. So there was something over there that's really different about what's going on there. So,
Yeah.
and other people have had experiences. My son wouldn't even go to the center of the property where it happened because he just didn't feel comfortable there for many years. So
Yeah.
there's some other indications that there's stuff going on here, and I've had other experiences since then. Nothing like that. I have had missing time, another missing time thing, for sure, but I still don't know exactly what that is and what it means. So, but I knew that whatever the case was, whatever the purpose was, I felt like there was purpose. And I knew that whatever that purpose was, I wouldn't be doing that alone. People kept saying, well, this is your journey, your special alone journey. I said, no, it's not. I've got some people that I'll eventually know who they are, meet up with, and
So
help me do
crazy.
this.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy, and here we are. So just explain what happened to you.
Yeah, I think it was like 2019. So I had a dream. I was laying down on the floor. What I thought I was in a bed, but like when you're trying to catch up your thoughts or your mind, you're trying to make sense of what's happening. So I was laying down, and I look catty corner to my right, and I see this being on top of somebody, and it had a really long tail, and it looked like a dark black to gray color. I mean, it was dark in there, so I really couldn't see too well. But if you were to see something like that, how do you explain it to people, if it's nothing you've ever seen before? I mean, initially fear, struck me when I saw it. And what was happening was very invasive, and it took its long tail and put it inside of the brain of that person, which later...
You don't have to say what the alien told you.
Okay.
You can just go ahead and you can just explain what you saw.
Okay. And there was another alien, which I stood up. There was another alien standing next to me, I guess showing me this stuff that was happening. And
it spoke to you, but you're not going to repeat what it said. You want to keep some things we have to not. We can't give all the information to you for certain reasons. because we
Okay.
don't want anybody else to, you know what I mean? To so go ahead.
Let's see, what was it? There was a night when we were all talking, doing a three-way conversation, and you said something that I didn't understand the dream and why I had it or who I was looking at, until you said I felt something take over me, or I could feel something on top of me, or like lording over you, I guess. But how this entity was on top of you was very much like encasing your body to the.
That's when we figured it out that
Mhm.
what you saw and the reason why you're here is because you saw the alien. You were there. So another alien brought you to the school to witness it, to see what was happening, which led you into trying to figure this out, right? Like after that, was that what happened in your?
It was actually the dream about being in the capsule and waking up.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was in 2020.
That's right. Yeah.
And that sparked me to later on, I was searching YouTube
Mm-hmm.
to find someone. And I knew that they were out there, that person. And I eventually found your channel and started watching some of your videos. And in that moment, I was like, I feel like we're connected in a way that I can't really explain to you. And then I shared my dream, which at first you weren't really sure what to make of it because I didn't really have any proof of anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. At first, I was kind of skeptical.
and that's okay.
But
I
then-
mean, that's within reason.
Yeah, but then it started making sense when we started talking, and you were like, "Oh my God!" You're like, "I was in the room when the alien was on top of you doing a thing to you," and then when you explained to me what the creature looked like that was on top of me, then it made a lot of sense because we could not understand what the marks on the wall were. We could not understand. We thought that maybe it was a horn, like my ex-wife said, it maybe it was a horn or a finger or something. But on the inside of because on the other side of the door, there was a splatter marks, which nobody has been able to recreate. You cannot do it, And then on the other side, and then on the door going in, there was this swoop that went up, kind of like a Nike swoop. And we were thinking, it's weird because there's no step there. If it stepped up, okay, maybe a horn went here, but where's it stepping up from? And we're thinking, well, maybe, why would it do its finger like that? But after you said it had a tail, which I didn't think of a tail at all. It made sense that on this side of the door, the alien phased in, but its tail was sticking out on this side. So when it phased in here, its tail smacked the wall, which splattered across the wall. And as it came in, the tail was swinging around and swooped up. So the body comes in and the tail swoops up. And that's why I have that swoop mark on the wall. It left this evidence so we would all be here right now. So that made me push further into trying to figure this thing out. So then we didn't have a total reset in 2020. So I said, hey, I need to find out what happened to me. The thing is I want to say is after I went to Alcor, it made a lot more sense that we're dealing with aliens that want us to be somewhere at a specific point in time. That's the reason why we're here. This has all led us in this point because when we looked at the Alcor, I asked them about Alcor. I said, "What is it?" And they said, "It's that logo." I said, "What's that logo?" Because it looks just like Space Force logo, identical almost. And why would you cryogenics be a logo for a space logo? That doesn't even add up. And then you found out when the lady told me that Alcor was because they named it after the star, which still doesn't make any sense. But when you said a little while ago about the star, you couldn't see it last night, right? And then we started thinking about, and we need to talk about this too. We started thinking about that. Well, that's what they used to use. They used to use the Alcor star and the miser. Is it Alcor miser? They used that in the past to make sure you have good vision. They'd say, can you see those stars, the Alcor and the miser star? And if you couldn't see them, that means your vision wasn't good. So they use it as a test to see if your vision was good. Yeah, 2020.
Wow. That's profound.
Yeah, to see if your vision is good. Now, why would you use that for a logo and the name for a cryogenics? Because it is a clue telling us that we are supposed to be going somewhere else. And Alcor is actually where they're using that for space travel, to port people from Earth to another planet. And this whole teleport thing, it just makes all sense, because looking for the clues, you need to make sure you can see the Alcor star. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like when we go and we look at the cave, and where I'm trying to figure it out, well, we're here, this is where I know this is where we're supposed to be, this is where we're supposed to teleport, and apparently there's a door right in front of us. And that's where we're going today.
Right.
And yesterday when me and you were over there, and I went to go up into the cave to look down in the cave, there was something big in there, something massive, and it sounded like it was like a cat. And we know that there's cats around here because we've seen cat prints.
Big cats, lions, yeah.
So I was literally sitting over top of this hole with no real stability up behind me, because I'm all the way up on this hill, peering over a rock, trying to look down in this cave, because I was going to get a rope and extend down in that cave so I can see, what's in there. And I had a camera that I wanted to drop down in there first, but I couldn't get an angle right to get it to go, because it just, gravity works one way. So I wouldn't go out that way and down. But as I'm standing up there fidgeting with this camera, trying to get down there, all of a sudden I hear these big, heavy footprints. I came down, I took a step back, and I took a look at this cave, and we went to go to the bottom part, and I was like, wait a minute, stop and look at this big rock, and I was like, this is the freaking door. It's 12 foot high. It's 12 foot high. A 10-foot being could walk through that thing. Apparently, they're going through doorways. They're going through a door or something that's shaped like a door. And that's what that rock is. When you look at it, it's shaped like a door. And it has no business being there.
And it's huge, and it landed like perfectly square right in front of the caves, if it actually landed there.
Yeah.
So was it put there? Did it land there? I don't know.
And there's nothing behind it, nothing around it. It's just, it's like you have the cave, and then here's the doorway. What? Okay, the rock. But it's the doorway, and it's perfectly shaped like one nice square.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got a good shape to it that would make a good doorway. And I think that's why
fell
we're
like
here.
that, just perfectly like square, came out. It's almost like it came out, came down. It's not like it didn't look like it tumbled anywhere.
No.
Like everything else around.
Like
it
just came and fell from all the way up there. It just went and stepped straight. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's an anomaly by itself.
Right. One I'd never thought of until you.
And I would never have thought of had the cat not sent me back down the hill to take another second look at it. And that's what I mean. All these things, these little mysteries are unraveling. And like with you, you apparently are the navigator, because the Alcor is what? Because you know a lot more about the Alcor star.
Oh yeah, it's in the Big Dipper.
Yeah, so go ahead and explain it and explain your freckles.
Oh, I have the Big Dipper on my arm. I haven't shown anybody yet, but yeah, it's got the little Alcor star and Mizor. So I guess I've been branded to help figure out how to get here and why we're here.
Another hint, another
Yeah.
clue.
Yeah.
We've been led this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, so my birthday is 10/10/1982, and there was a map on the fifth kind, and there was a giant X right around this area that I found, because X marks the spot, which is also a 10.
10 is X marks the spot. So I believe that your purpose is to find how we get through the door. I think that's your purpose. That's like you well, not your sole purpose, but that's one of the things that you have, is you have the gift to find how to get through the door. It's on your freaking arm. You're branded, marked with it through birth. And 10 is X marks the spot. And had none of this stuff happen to me with the alien and unlocking my mind about 1972, and all these things I wouldn't be, then, I had, so it's almost like you two are already, were in play, and I had to come in to bring all this together,
merge, yeah.
to get all this together. But it's not one person, it's all three of us. It's literally, it's all three of us, because it would not work if it was just me and her. We found each other, but we didn't know you. And we weren't be able to find this spot with all this with the teleport, and it wouldn't work if it was just me and you without her, because I would never have known what the being looked like that was on top of me. The fact that it had a tail, all this stuff. And she also brings up and you both of you have brought up things. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, and that just makes more and more and more sense. So it takes all of our brains to remember things that we know that we don't know. There are things that we don't know that we know. That's that right?
Both ways, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
the things that fit together are just phenomenal. They can't be coincidence. There's so many of them. We can't even keep up with them.
No. And
we don't even remember half of them. Well,
No.
we should start writing them down. But it's
I got a
just
journal.
So
I forgot
much,
to. I
so
forgot to,
much that just fits together. The why we're all three here, and was in contact with the two of you. I knew that you were the people that I was supposed to be doing this with, and then you were willing to get here, which says everything. Actions speak louder than any
We
words.
all come from across the country to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to put too much information on this about all the stuff that we know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a reason why everybody else is not supposed to be here. There's only 3 people here. But I want to document this just in case something was to happen to one of us or all of us, because we're going to go try to see this gateway now. We're going to try to make it open, and we're not going to talk about how we're going to do that, because I don't want anybody else to try to mimic it or anything like that, and then, cause a problem just because they want to, so, and you guys both know that, everybody knows I've been posting videos all year last year, 2020, that's what I do, I post videos, and haven't documented any of this, nothing, till now.
Yeah. And we came to your channel around the same time,
Yeah.
same date.
Yeah.
December,
within 2 days of each other.
December 12th and 15th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.